What's cracking, everybody, and welcome to episode 203 of the Good Kraken podcast. I'm one of your hosts today, Ernell Pearson, alongside the man who eats, Garrick Bartholomew Eaton. What's happening, baby?
What's up? Just chilling. I've been thinking a lot about the movie we're going to be reviewing today.
Me too. Actually, I've had this movie on my mind since last night, man.
It's fucking. I was like, damn, dude, this fucking. It felt like a movie from another time in like all the right kind of ways.
Right? Didn't it?
Yeah, man. So I've been daydreaming. Then I'm playing Elden Ring. Just things.
Let's go. Did you beat another boss yet?
Yeah. So yesterday I beat the what's it called, the Starfall Beast or Falling Star Beast, Falling Star Beast, and then I also beat just a couple other minor bosses, and I got to Volcano Manor yesterday.
Ooh, very nice. That's a
hell yeah.
pain in the ass place. I'm a little surprised we haven't set up because you're playing on console, right?
Totally.
I'm surprised we haven't set up doing more multiplayer content with I know that's hard. That's really hard when we have like someone who's playing on console and others that play on PC. I'm surprised we haven't tried to like find a way to do it. You know what I mean? Like there's got to be some kind of way.
Dude, we should totally try to do some content with like the seamless multiplayer mod. Like all it needs, because I know DJ plays on PC, right? DJ's playing on PC. And I know Devin's talked about doing that for like a hot minute now. So like I think maybe DJ and Devin need to do like a multiplayer Elden Ring.
Think so get Coop in here too. You know what I'm saying? That'd be fun. That'd be fun. That'd be a good.
Although
time.
you gotta let Devin die to all the bosses for the first time, because the reason he wants to do the multiplayer is because it's hard.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we need him to die as many times as possible.
He's got to earn his keep.
Yes, 100%. I mean, like DJ, I think technically is the least experienced in Souls games, right? Coming into Elden Ring.
He's beaten Elden Ring 4 times though, man. He's
coming into Elden Ring.
Yes,
no experience. No, yeah. Like I beat Dark Souls 3, but that was just with friends, like summoning in.
Oh, then maybe not. Maybe Devin is the least experienced then, because I don't think Devin's played a Souls game prior to Elden Ring.
I think I want to say he maybe played the first Dark Souls, but I don't know if he beat it or not.
I beat Dark Souls 3 and like the extra bosses, and I played a little bit of Sekiro, but I never beat Sekiro.
Oh, dude, Sekiro is so good. I need
to re-download it and play it.
The only one I haven't beat actually so far is I haven't actually beat Dark Souls 3.
We're gonna squash this.
So like I even play like just other random Souls likes. Like any Souls like I can get my hands on, I'll try.
Here we go. Hold on. Hi, Devin. Devin, are you there?
You just cut out. Yeah, I'm here. What's up?
Hey, hi. You're on the Good Kraken podcast. How are you?
Oh, doing great. It's great to be on my own show.
So we had a question for you, Devin. Prior to Elden Ring, have you ever played another Souls game?
Sorry, I'm not gonna lie. You just cut out. What was your question?
Okay, that's fine. Prior to Elden Ring, have you ever played a Souls game?
Yeah. I own Dark Souls 3.
It was the third one. Garrick was the third one. Yeah, Garrick was close. Okay, all right. Thank you. That's all we need to know. Get good, nerd.
but I think he played one other one.
Okay, so we have a great lineup. Then we have DJ, who's 4 times in the Elden Ring. We have Coop, who's probably like 8 times in the Elden Ring, and then Devin, who's a fucking scrub. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. What a nerd. Get good. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of getting good,
how far Devin got before he gave it up. He gave it up last time.
Yeah, I know. In Elden Ring, it's gonna be. Well, we'll find out. From him. In the meantime, though, speaking of getting good, we have the man, the myth, the legend, baby. We got him. We got Twitch.tv's DJ Symphony. DJ, how is your day going so far, sir?
And I'm so glad you were just introduced, but tell me to get good, motherfucker.
Oh, Devin, hi, baby. What's up?
Bro, any multiplayer game, I will wipe the fucking floor with you.
See me in Street Fighter, bitch. It's coming out soon. Let's go.
Yeah, I will mop the fucking floor with you, bro.
Oh, this is great so far. I love it. Oh, man. Devin, all right. We love you. You be good.
Dude, I actually, like, straight up, I challenge you to Soul Calibur.
Fine. Fuck you. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm gonna beat your ass. I'll do that Soul Calibur. I'll do it at Mortal Kombat. I'll do it at Street Fighter. I'll do it at Call of Duty.
All right. This fun.
It's gonna be live here on stream. And
Yeah,
good Kraken show.
when that happens.
This is gonna happen in May. This is gonna be the Brevin and Ocean Shrine showdown. I'm gonna be at every single video game we play.
Let's fucking go, Devin. I'll see you, dog. I'll see you on the other side.
3 rounds, every single one. It's happening now.
All right. We got Splash Day with
20
content.
bucks. $20.
Devin, go pack. We love you, dog. Be good.
Love you.
DJ, how is your day going, my guy?
Dude, it's been going good. Woke up, slept well. Just chilling, just having a good time.
Did you?
I got later today. I gotta head to a shoot for one of my student film that I'm working on, and so I hope everything goes well. On that end. So, yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. Did you get I know nobody is gonna understand what this means, but did you get a chance to have that conversation?
No,
yesterday?
I haven't. I'm thinking about just talking to her like in person when I see her.
Fair enough. Okay. I like it. Respect those boundaries. You know what I'm saying? You gotta put some respect on it. You know what I mean? In the meantime, with respect here, we have a movie that all of us have seen last night and maybe the night before. But this is gonna be a good time to talk about this, and I'm excited if I can do that with you boys, because this is the Good Kraken podcast, your choice for all the nerdy video game and pop media news, reviews, and discussions that you want to hear. Live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. and Saturdays at 12 p.m. Fucking Devin. Listen, I had to defend my honor.
His honor, he says.
Yeah, his honor. You mean pride? I think you're mixing those words up, Devin. If you're on this wave, you can head on over to our Discord channel where you can submit questions and topics of the show, get exclusive post-show content, and have early access to episodes before they go live on podcast and video services across the digital sea.
Yar.
But if you've emptied your pockets for the latest and greatest in entertainment, that is totally fine. You can watch us record the show live right here at twitch.tv/Good Kraken Show. If you have Amazon Prime, you also have Twitch Prime. DJ, tell them.
Prime Gaming.
And we would love for you to give that to us to help keep us pushing content out for all of you that are listening or watching at home. But you can also support us by going to our YouTube channel, clicking that beautiful bell and big red button, or by subscribing to our podcast channel by searching Good Kraken with an exclamation mark and leaving a review there.
Review.
Best podcast in Africa.
The number one podcast in Kazakhstan.
Garrick!
What? What do you want?
We have a couple captains.
What do you want?
My friend.
Do we?
Gary's so over this episode already. We had an entire 20-minute conversation about something that has nothing to do with this movie. Guys, please check out our newest episode of The Shipwreck Show that is live right now on your podcast service of choice. We build a date for someone's 2nd year anniversary with their partner, and it's a good time. I had a really good time making the thumbnail for that one. I don't know if you guys saw the thumbnail for it, but I know Garrick did. He likes going back and looking at my thumbnails.
Dude, I always look at the fucking thumbnails. They crack me the fuck up, dude.
Yeah, it's DJ's gonna go look. Jesus Christ,
he's gonna go look right now.
Yeah, let me go look.
It's bad, man. I put that baby together. It was like, oh yeah, that's
You're
it.
like,
That's the one.
yeah, it's going all together.
My girlfriend was like, "Is that what you looked like on our first date?" I was like, "I don't know."
You're like, that's how I felt. You're like, that doesn't matter. That's how it was. That's how I felt inside.
I see it.
There you go. That's the one, baby. That's the one. I love it, guys. I love it.
It was
You
the
guys,
energy of the matter.
you guys can love it too over on your podcast service of choices. Look up Good Kraken, and we'll be right there for you. In the meantime, guys, so we had originally talked about this in prior episodes for our captain's orders, but because things are crazy and wild, and mostly because the Super Mario Brothers movie is coming out on a fucking Wednesday instead of a Friday, we had to move. We had to move our schedule around for next week in a real weird way. So please bear in mind, our original plans to do the MCU Phase 1 ranking was to do it on April 8th, a Saturday, next Saturday. But we now need to move that over to the following Tuesday. So on Tuesday, April 11th, it is official. Please join us as we rank Phase 1 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Okay, that gives you guys time, just about a week, to go through, watch the MCU Phase 1 movies, so you guys can be a part of our MCU rankings as we do these quarterly. We're gonna be doing another phase as we come in, watch all those movies, rank those along with the first phase's movies, so on and so forth, until we have all of the MCU ranked together. It's going to be a very, very fun time. Tuesday, April 11th, 7 p.m. Pacific time. Please join us for that. It's going to be so much fun. DJ, my boy, tell the people at home what we got going on next.
We got, Ernell, you better protect your fucking neck because we got the fucking gallows, baby.
Fucking go!
Protect your neck.
Protect your neck. I love that catchphrase so much, and DJ and Devin make it so hype every time.
Protect your neck, man.
Protect your neck. So stupid, guys. For the gallows today, we have Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves review. Oh boy. What a movie. We're going to get into this. It's going to be a lot of fun. So, Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves, released March 31st, 2023. Directed by John Francis Daly and Jonathan Goldstein. So, Dungeons & Dragons, there we go. These two directors are known for a good number of things that are actually not really a lot of directing. So John Francis Daly has done stuff like Freaks and Geeks, Bones, Waiting, was a writer on Waiting a long time ago. Jonathan Goldstein was also mostly known for writing on things like Spider-Man Homecoming. He's done Vacation. He's done Horrible Bosses. Like, a lot of comedy work has been done by these gentlemen, and it shines real well in this movie. You can tell. But we also have a budget of $150 million. I have not checked the box office yet, actually. I have a little. That was the one thing I forgot to put on here. God damn it. Box office numbers. Dungeons and Dragons currently at 15.3 million for the first week. That is domestically. So worldwide, it has done more because
it's being out less than 24 hours.
Yes, in less than 24 hours. That's actually surprisingly well. Just for, retention for whomever. John Wick Chapter 4 this week only made 7 million, but most people have already seen that. So that's let people know that. But yes, 150 million. They've already made their 15. That's a pretty damn good start, just domestically. So, runtime of 2 hours and 14 minutes. Some good old fun facts for you guys as we move into the good old review here. John Francis Daly, this movie's co-writer and co-director, starred on the TV series Freaks and Geeks, where his character, Sam Ware, is shown to be a big fan of D&D and is seen playing the game with his friends in the show's final episode, Discos and Dragons.
Hell yeah.
The
callback.
The more people that are involved in things that they obviously love, the better that shit turns out. I'm so happy for that. Jag, Freaks and Geeks was so good. I never got a chance to watch it. Did you guys get a chance to see it at all?
Yep, canceled early.
I have not.
Too soon.
I have not.
Too soon? Damn. What a bummer, man. Damn it, those fuckers. Next up, the movie was filmed from April 12th, 2021 to August 19th, 2021. The release date was moved to November 2021 to accommodate Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, which is coming out in 2023, and later to May 2022 and March 2023 due to the COVID-19 pandemic. So this movie's actually been done. This movie was made 2 years ago. Yeah, it's been done for a minute, y'all. And it doesn't feel like it. It kind of just feels like a 2023 movie. I'm like, I know most movies are done like finished like the year prior, but 2 years is wild. And I know a lot of movies actually that we've seen recently were the same way. Like John Wick 4 was filmed technically like 3 years ago. And so, like, just the pandemic fucking ruined everything. You know what I mean? Fucking ruined everything. But we're eating good now, so I guess that's all that matters. While clearly there's no Britain in D&D, Justice Smith is the only actor not using his natural accent, and even sounds inspired by Tom Sturridge as the Sandman in 2022. Apparently, his accent even fooled Hugh Grant.
That's super sick, though. We're flipping the narrative, cool. Buddy. Okay? None of these British actors speaking American accents. It's about these American actors doing British accents. God bless America, baby. That makes me feel patriotic.
For real, dude. Even Jack, that's wild. It felt new. Yeah, for real. This felt like a brand new movie, man. That's wild, dude. And then lastly, Daly commented that the film's influences include The Princess Bride, Monty Python, The Holy Grail, The Lord of the Rings, and Indiana Jones, with the Indiana Jones structure evoking both a dungeon crawl, quote unquote, and the heist film genre that they wanted to draw on. And basically, oh boy, I'm sure we're about to get
every single one of those influences in the film. Every single one.
Good God, that is spot on. They pulled it off, dude. With that said, I'm sure we're about to get into this. Let's talk top level thoughts on Dungeons and Dragons Among Thieves. Excuse me. DJ, go ahead.
This was a really fun movie. Coming into it, I didn't really have any big expectations besides the clips that I've seen floating around on TikTok. I think you guys know that clip of the them asking the dead the 5 questions.
Yes.
That's what initially drew me in. I'm like, okay, this is kind of funny, okay? Because I thought, maybe it was just like a movie slapping the Dungeons and Dragons like name on it, right?
Right.
I think that's what most like most people think. Like that's what it's going to be, but honestly, from the reception I saw before seeing the film, people were saying like, "Oh, this is like a D&D campaign, like is blown up for the big screen," and that's what it felt like watching it. There's a good enough amount of action. There's a good enough amount of humor. The dialogue is really good. The chemistry between the characters. And it didn't feel long at all. For it being a 2-hour movie, 2 hour and 14 minutes, it didn't feel long. It didn't feel dragged on like there wasn't a point in the movie where I felt like, let's get to the point. I was like just interested as soon as I started watching. Which was just really cool. The cinematography was really good. CGI was the CGI was pretty good. Some things you look like it's kind of natural, but like kind of off just a tad bit, but like it doesn't break your sense of immersion, and it still suspends like a little bit of disbelief in some cases, right?
Yeah.
I genuinely felt like I had fun watching the movie. There was nothing in the movie that genuinely like blew me away, but sure. I consider this a really good movie on its own, and I want to see more movies like this. Maybe like a different campaign, maybe set in the same universe or maybe a different universe that we can see. That's my top level thoughts.
I like it, Garrick.
Oh yeah, this movie 100% fun immediately is also the first one that comes to mind after like seeing it. I definitely left the theater with a smile on my face. Every character got like it's their own shining moment for better or worse. And like they did it to like great effect and I loved that. And this felt like a D&D campaign down to the way that like each character was written. Like I the whole time, the entire time I'm sitting there playing. Yeah, so like that's like the game set. That was the mindset that I was in. It's like playing the game. While I was watching this movie, I was like, this DM is a fucking sadist, bro.
Yeah.
And Simon's got god rolls on his side. Like
for real.
that's
dude.
literally what it felt like. It's like so like literally you could literally boil it down to like I could see the player behind the characters that were written for the screen, and I loved that. Like Chris Pine's character as a bard was like that's just your typical like that's your horny on main friend, right?
Yeah.
Who's just like the over charismatic being the bard like all the time. Simon is like your friend that you're trying so fucking hard to get into D&D. This is only like his second time ever playing the game. He's got zero confidence in any of his decision making skills, but every once in a while he rolls that 20 and it fucking pays out for the party so hard.
Yep.
And like you felt like those moments and there's like those shining moments that like really powered through in a D&D campaign. And interestingly enough, like it's funny that the DJ kind of mentioned that like the CGI was like a little funny in some places, and I actually I really do think that this time they did it on purpose. With the way that the set pieces were designed, like some of the color palettes were like borderline cosplay in the way that they were presented. And then there was some spots at the end you were just like, that is a fucking cosplay.
The maze. You're talking about the maze, right?
So yes.
Yeah.
Dude, this movie loves D&D and makes fun of it at the same time, which if you as a person who has played and grew up around D&D, that's how you play D&D. Like if you can't take D&D too seriously, otherwise it's just not fun. And this captures that campaign aesthetic from start. Like I love that like they use the narration. You're just like, okay, like this is the DM, like you've rolled per perception, you're inspecting an item, and now like the DM is setting the tone for you by telling you like a backstory. And then like they're just visually representing that to the audience. But it all still felt like it had the D&D charm. And like it was like all the ridiculous moments were like the players are like learning the mechanics, like with the 5 questions, where they completely fucking wasted the first one.
Yeah.
And like, it's been a really long time since I have seen a film use such low hanging jokes to such great effect.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, dude, like, specifically like one thing that comes to mind immediately was the introduction of one of the dragons, and Chris Pine's character makes a comment about like his new living situation. And dude, the whole theater laughed. Like everybody laughed at that shit. I was just like, dude, that was such a fucking low hanging fucking joke. Like literally anybody could have told it, but it was delivered at such a high intensity moment that it just slayed the room. And they did that time and time again.
You're talking about the cavern. It's cavern, right? Like, oh, it must have moved.
It must have found a new. Yeah, exactly. Like that joke landed so perfectly, and like it just had like that's where like I really felt like the Princess Bride influence of the film. Like it was not afraid to make fun of itself to its own like benefit. I really loved the way this presented itself as a film. Like the plot was pretty much about what you were expecting. It's a D&D campaign. Like at the end of the day, like it is designed with the heroes to have success in mind, but it's designed to do it with fun and heart and mind. And that's where this film really like hit that nail on the head. they set it up very graceful at the end to be a one-off, beautiful one-off adventure, or it could also set itself up to be quite the fun and interesting franchise that we could see possibly 2, 3, maybe even 4 films on down the future, which I would love to see. Like if they were able to do it with the same, without the charm waning as we go on. But aside from that, I really did thoroughly enjoy this film from front to back. Like as a kid growing up with D&D in my life.
Yeah, dude. I have to say that I agree. This movie was way more fun than I had any expectations for it to be. And I'm sure a lot of people could agree with me. Jag, who's in chat right now, he came out with us last night to go see it. And I could feel, because Jag says, imagining the role behind everything was what I was doing in my head. It was exactly...
A potato?
Dude, yeah. Dude,
that was a 20, bro.
Jag and I were eating last night, dude. Like, we were having the time of our fucking lives with this movie. It's like, as someone as like Garrick who's played Dungeons and Dragons since I was a kid, like, I had such a very fun experience with this, just simply because of like how it honors fan service. And this movie does such a good job of being clever and well put together enough to like make fan service its top priority in the way where it like almost is meta. It's like it's aware of the fact that like it knows Dungeons and Dragons fans are gonna go see this. How much fun can we make fun of ourselves for? How goofy can we allow ourselves to like feel for being Dungeons and Dragons players, right? Because like we all know like it takes a very specific type of person to be in TTRPGs. Like, it takes a very specific type of person to enjoy doing tabletop games like that. And we all know that there's a level of, like, humor that can come with making fun of ourselves for being, like, that kind of person, the kind of person that's okay with being goofy and like over the top with your friends, sitting at a table eating snacks and like pretending to play along as like some character that doesn't exist, right? Like it's a very specific type of person that takes, and we can make fun of ourselves all day long for doing that. This movie is so much fucking fun. Like, the humor in me and Jag I have not belly laughed this hard in a movie in a really long time. Like, me and Jag were cracking the fuck up for all 2 hours of this damn movie. And the first, like, 15 minutes of this movie are such a good setup for what the rest of the movie was going to be, like, leading up to the title screen and the entire prison scene. I was dying over all the Jonathan jokes and just like we approved your pardon. Like when he's like telling the story and he was like yeah, and Jonathan would have known that, but I guess he's not,
enough with the Jonathan, like
he's so fucking funny. But I know like you guys remember me mentioning like this is my favorite version of Chris Pine, like being our sort of like main character in this story, our like party leader of the story. Chris Pine, not taking himself too seriously is the best version of Chris Pine we can possibly get. He showed that to us in Star Trek. He showed that to us in this, and it continues to be so. Michelle Rodriguez playing this role was so incredible. Oh my
Dude,
God.
I loved her as the group's barbarian. Like, that was such a good fucking call.
Oh
like, such a good casting call.
So good, dude. And like, and they
just
use
magic is over there.
and like making her kind of dumb too was just like one of the best choices ever. Like they did such a good job of like making these characters come to life in the way that they did, where you're right, Garrick, you don't just see these characters as characters, you see the player that is like playing this character out, and it is so good because the entire time we're watching, I'm imagining like basically watching Critical Role in the essence of this, but the story is coming alive in front of you, right? And like they Dude, and like DJ said, like it ebbs and flows so well in that way where because it feels like you're just watching a D&D like campaign play out in front of you, it has moments where it doesn't take itself seriously at all, but it also has moments where we're able to be serious and feel that emotional.
Punch, dude.
Exactly. And like and they have you have those in D&D campaigns where like for the most part, like if you have a good DM, you have that in a good campaign. Like it's as a fan of Dungeons and Dragons, as someone who loves playing Dungeons and Dragons and hanging out with my friends and having a good time, this movie was perfect for that. Like if I could give this movie a D&D rating, it would be a 10 out of 10. Period. Like like this is probably the most like fun high fantasy experience I've like ever had watching something besides Lord of the Rings, because this movie just kind of feels like a faster paced Lord of the Rings that makes fun of itself for being a faster paced Lord of the Rings movie. And it like it shines from beginning to fucking end, dude. I am so excited that we decided to review this movie. I had so much fun. I cannot wait for this movie to come out on like DVD and shit. I'm buying this movie day one because this movie, I cannot wait to watch this movie again. Like this is,
I'm about to go see it again, dude. I'm gonna go to AMC and get the fucking D20 popcorn. Fucking.
The dice buckets are crazy for this film.
Our theater didn't have them, dude. I'm like so because we went to a Cinemark theater, right? And so like I'm about to go to AMC and get that thing too, dude.
Yeah, I'm about to get the fucking bucket and the cups, dog. I need those.
Yeah, I've seen the dice one and I've seen the dragon head one. They're both dope.
Dude, it's
Dragonhead?
This movie is fucking rad. I could not say enough times that I had so much fun, dude. Like this is one of my favorite movies of the year so far. Like absolutely. It's one of my favorite high fantasy experiences in a movie to date. This movie is good. This is a good movie, man. And it just movie. It does it in a way that it doesn't try to be more than that. Like they just said we're gonna make a good movie and we're gonna make it fun, and that's all that matters. And they nailed that. They just made a good movie. It didn't need to be some huge epic. It didn't try to be another Endgame. It took the safe route and it took the safe route and just decided to nail being that movie. And time again, absolutely, I'm gonna watch this movie a million times over, dude. I'm so excited for this.
It's so rewatchable. It's so rewatchable.
So rewatchable, dude. And like in like the best way possible too, because the humor is so just lame but bombastic enough that like you can come back to like yeah.
Dude, and the runtime's not so freaking cutting. I love a good long movie if it makes worth my while, but like I feel like there are some movies where I'm just like, all right, you could have cut 45 minutes off that hoe. Like, damn.
Yeah. And no, you're right. Like this movie doesn't feel weighted. Its pace is really, really well done. They move from one thing to another in a way that says like, yep, you've had enough. We're done here. We're good. We don't need to do this anymore. We can move on to the next scene. And they even do that with characters too. Like they do that play where they're like, yep, nope, that's enough.
You're just like, I thought this was another player. You're like, that motherfucker was an NPC for a side quest.
Yeah.
Are you shitting me?
It was so genius, man. For real, dude. Like they're like, no, we're not gonna have a god roller here. We're not doing that. It's so like fascinatingly well written, this fucking movie, dude. Like from every avenue it possibly can be. I'm so excited for this. So what I want to talk about really quick with you guys. So obviously, me and Garrick, we know we've played D&D before. DJ, have you done any TTRPG stuff?
Dude, I've done one campaign that I never finished. Because the guy who DMs it, he's a great DM, but that motherfucker's an asshole. So I don't like him. Insane. He had an incredible homebrew world, and I was so immersed in it. And we got to a really pivotal point in the campaign before I stopped talking to him, or he just stopped doing it. And he's kind of notable in the D&D space. People might know that guy, but I'm not gonna say his name.
For sure.
But
if you want to hit him up, he's
yeah. So if you want to send him his ad is okay.
Anyways.
But I want to play more D&D. I want to find groups to play D&D with, because I honestly enjoy that. I had a lot of fun trying to role play and trying to figure out like the role playing aspect and balancing that with what I can do within the grounds and the rules of whatever game that I'm in. And it helps me flex my acting chops a little bit.
Yeah, for sure, dude. Absolutely.
And I just I want to play more, and this movie makes me want to find people to play with and just do awesome stuff. Garrett?
So maybe next time Tabletop Simulator goes on sale and I tell all of you guys to buy it and everybody ignores me, you guys will take me fucking seriously. We can do something like this as a group.
So we've actually been in the talks of doing some sort of good Kraken content for TTRPG stuff before. It's something we're still trying to plan out a little bit more accordingly. And it is something that involves Raven directly, because Raven is someone who is in the Twitch TTRPG space.
TTRPG.
And so it is something that we're planning on doing. So for all of you at home that, don't know us, outside of reviews and stuff, that is something that we will be doing in the future. So hang tight. It will be a lot of fun, because we have a lot of personalities here that can make this a lot of fucking fun. I'm really excited for it. Now, with that said, though, so DJ, you obviously had some experience prior to that. Do you feel that this movie, character-wise, and this is kind of my question for you guys next, honored Dungeons and Dragons in a way that felt it serviced us fans correctly? Because I know outside of our main party, we have a lot of NPCs, we have a lot of villains, we have a lot of side characters that are sort of like loosely involved in things going around. How do you feel about the characters that are in this movie just outside of our party?
The characters outside of the party, I think they are pretty. Like they do their job. It services the movie and the plot that goes forward. It's kind of like in my head, I'm imagining like just the DM making shit on the fly about some of these guys, and it's just like for that situation, right?
Yeah.
Besides like some of the main like plot characters, like with the Red Wizards and the Harpers and this and stuff like that, that feels fleshed out, and that's part of the world. But some of these other characters that pop up that we that aren't in the main party, some of them I feel like it's just serving the situation, and some I think like Forge is greedy. He's the antagonist of one of the antagonists of the film. He's like this evil rich dude, which very relatable.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Evil rich guy, a lot of resources. And he's like kind of charismatic and conniving, which I think is kind of cool. It fits into a trope, but in a very tasteful way, if that makes sense. And like some other characters, there's one character that I was like, it kind of made sense, like the daughter. I'm like, do you really believe this guy? Like, really? Like, in the first, like, are you serious?
D&D writing coming through a little bit.
Yep.
Him or your father? Like, so that was pretty cool. Yeah, and then Thayan, the Thayan, I forgot his name. Vike, I think, is it Vike? The paladin.
Pretty sure it started with a Z. It had some ridiculous. It was a ridiculous fantasy name.
Yeah. Hold on.
I might be able to get some.
I gotta look at the.
Oh, damn it.
Zank.
There you go.
Zank. Yeah, Zank is him. Zank Yendar. That guy, he's really funny. It's like that paladin that takes himself like he takes himself seriously,
way too seriously.
Way too serious, but also he smiles a bit because he knows what he's doing. like like he's like, I hate you, and then he just smiles.
Yeah, dude. Well, and like that goes to show like another representation of like just the way the characters felt like players in this, like feeling like you're watching Critical Role, because like even if he was not just an NPC and he was like the one-time player who's like, I can come and hang out with you guys, but I'm only available this Saturday, right? And like he just comes in for the one.
Oh
like,
yeah, he's a part of the
meet.
campaign. Like, I can only be here from this time and this time. It's like, all right, we'll make you like a character.
He brings
for
in
a
a
little
character
bit. Like,
from another campaign that's like level 30. Like he's
yeah, dude. That's what it felt like. His character, like, dude, there was a guy in our theater who was cracking the fuck up over this fucking character in this movie. Like justifyingly so, because this character was so fucking goofy and everyone was just like, oh my god, dude, because he takes himself too seriously. He makes fun of the fact that he takes
I don't indulge in local colloquialisms, like
but that guy, whoever is playing that character at the table, is like one of my fucking favorites, dude, because he fucking knows that he's being that guy.
He knows the whole thing. Like he's being smug about it. He's like, well, I don't know what you're talking about.
So fucking good, dude. So Garrick, I move the same question to you. Do you feel the other characters outside of our main party, do you feel these characters move the story along well enough for you? Because obviously Dungeons and Dragons is not just our party, it is the journey along the way. Do you feel that these characters service this as well as they should?
Definitely. Like, there are definitely those moments where like it felt like the dialogue and the things kind of happening surrounding the characters was in fact being made up on the spot. But I think once again, like this was done to their effect and to benefit, like specifically like recalling again when they had to go talk to or he like they literally were making plans. He's just like, all right, so like we need to go like just go talk to a dead guy, and you're just like, oh yeah, you make it sound like that's so easy. You're just like, well actually that is something I can go do. And then they just like pass it off as something real nonchalant, and you're just like, okay. And then you get there, and then like the actual dead people turn into these NPCs. Like they ended up becoming like these NPCs as they march like through this graveyard, talking to corpse after corpse after corpse for like their own reasons. And like I think it was one of the most ridiculous moments, because I was like, this is exactly some stupid D&D campaign bullshit. Like that was the
this is
most
where you spent
D&D
2
moment.
hours. You spent 2 hours doing this,
marching around in the graveyard, just trying to figure out the next step to this stupid quest. And like you're just like, oh my god, let's move it along, right? You're like, and like you could like sense like the characters getting frustrated with the NPCs. You're just like, ugh.
Oh my god,
right to the point to where like the characters made the decision to screw an NPC over in the end because they were done dealing with them. Right. And so absolutely, I felt like even the ones that felt like they were designed poorly with intent, and like. And it all to serve the purpose of the like we love D&D, but we're not afraid to make fun of just how freaking silly this game can be at its like the heart of it all. And I loved all the NPCs and like the weird interactions that they had with everybody, or the fact that like some of the character interactions were really fleeting. Well, like we were just like Zenk was a perfect one. Like we thought he was I don't know about you guys, but like I thought he was there to like for the end, and then he was just like, it's not my quest, and you're like, what? Bitch, what do you mean? We just quested.
Quest.
We just did the quest. Like we just did, and then you're like, you're like, okay,
dude, he's fucking crazy.
And then he's like, I bet
your sword, his like that shit was
for real. That was so dope.
I think my favorite thing, like I think it was my favorite moment in the entire film, was when he departs and
the straight line is he gonna go around the rock? Is he gonna nope?
He's gonna go around the rock.
Nope, over the rock.
Nope, he did it. He went over it.
I like, dude, because it really like drove home the NPC-ness.
Yes.
Right? Like they don't have any will of their own. Like there's no choice. They just do what they've been directed to do. And like But dude, I loved it. All the NPCs felt like the side characters felt so fucking good. Like they were used to perfect D&D comedic effect. Because the thing is almost in every iteration of a game where I've ever played any sort of tabletop, is like players always have like that one NPC they think is like way more important than they actually are.
Yeah.
And so they like cling to them and then they turn out to like not be that important at all. And you're like, what in the hell? And like the characters, like the players have developed like this sense for this character that the DM wasn't planning for.
Yeah.
But he's just like, well, we still don't actually need him, so we're just gonna shove him out.
Yeah. Or when they like lean too hard on that character because they're god rolled as fuck. So they're like, oh, thank God we have this guy to help us here. And then the DM's like, no.
You.
Dude,
he was just here for this one bit because you guys were under leveled, right?
Yep. Well, and like so that kind of like leans into why I asked the question. Generally speaking, it's just because like this movie feels like it's also sort of making fun of high fantasy games as well, where like the NPCs it doesn't just reflect on NPCs in Dungeons and Dragons. It reflects beautifully well on NPCs in high fantasy video games. And like it's beautiful how much fun they make fun of not just Dungeons and Dragons, but also things like World of Warcraft and things like Morrowind and Skyrim. And like
Act 2 was literally a fetch quest.
Literally was a fetch quest, dude. And like and it does it so well. And it was cool because like as they're moving into this world, which I believe this universe that they're in is called in Dungeons and Dragons, they call it like the unseen realm or something like that, or like the Underdark or some shit like that. I can't remember exactly what it is. But
where they travel to, it's called the Underdark.
Well, no. The universe,
the overarching universe,
the plane, the plane,
the Forgotten Realms,
the Forgotten Realms. Thank you. So that includes places like Baldur's Gate and Neverwinter, and like places that have been very pivotal in Dungeons and Dragons video games. And so when I started catching
books too, lots of books.
Yeah, lots of books. And when I started catching into like that's what they were kind of aiming into, it was cool to like see these places. And I was like, oh, I played that game, right? Because I loved Baldur's Gate. I used to play Neverwinter's Night. Like games back in the day that were like really big when Dungeons and Dragons was still like a low-key nerd-ass fucking thing to play. But also when things like Diablo 1 and 2 were like after peak popularity. This movie does such a good job of like utilizing our prior knowledge of games like that to make it feel goofy and over the top. Like there's one moment where when we first meet Zank, when we first meet Zank, and he has like the dragon like homeless person that he like gives change to, and he puts his hand on his face and then they walk away. It's one of the most video game ass moments where they're like, what the fuck?
Yeah. What are you doing, Doc?
he just has a moment with the homeless guy where he talks to him for a brief second. It's so much fun.
They said like they exchanged like this one word that they repeat, like the dragon like repeats back. I forgot what the word was.
Yeah, I can't remember.
It was like a foreign language sort of thing.
He said something like grace or something. Like he was like something.
He was just like, and grace to you or some shit like that.
Some shit like that.
So fucking good, dude. And like it just felt like that moment in like a good like single player like narrative driven game where you're following this NPC to like get their backstory, and they stop. They're like briefly interacting with like environment characters, and you're just like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Like, can you move faster, please? Like it felt like that moment. They're like all following him, doing his thing. Dude, so fucking good, man. I like the character stuff in this. It probably is the fuel under the fire of what this movie is. I'm so glad we're all on the same page for that. But in the meantime, real quick, we need you guys to have a word from our sponsors.
This piece of good Kraken content is brought to you by Glide Mousepads. The world is changing, and the demand for PC gaming and work from home setups has never been as wild as it is right now. Having the best of the best in PC accessories only makes it easier to get your work done before you jump right back in to the fray of the digital sea. And Glide knows exactly how to make that happen for you. Glide Mousepads is the future industry leader in mousepads, offering beautiful, smooth, waterproof products made with eco-friendly materials and non-slip rubber in a variety of sizes that are guaranteed to help you get that next win. I've got one of these bad boys in my office at work. I've got one here at my desk right now. Devin's got one. Xander's got one. This bad boy is silky smooth, silkier and smoothier than even the silkiest of smoothies or soy milk or what have you. You can go to glidemousepads.com right now and use code Kraken for 15% off the Founders Edition mousepad in every size available. Again, that's code KRAKEN Kraken for 15% off any Founders Edition mousepad today. Our next sponsor is Rogue Energy. Late nights are pretty much commonplace for all content creators, and anyone here at GK can attest that late nights are kind of our only nights. Luckily for us, though, Rogue has figured out exactly how to give those late nights and even earlier mornings the supercharge that we all need. Rogue Energy is a low-calorie, no-sugar energy formula that is the perfect alternative to sugar-filled canned energy drinks and sodas. Every formula Rogue Energy produces is designed with optimal levels of high-quality ingredients and no chalky textures. Again, we don't want that. We don't want that. Being the only gaming drink company in the world with 4 unique product lines to suit your task at hand, Rogue Energy strives to improve the in-game performance of gamers, streamers, and content creators around the world. Now, I know that we've been riding this train for a long time. You might be tired of us talking about this. You might not be tired of us. You might want to just support us anyways. And you know what? For those that do support us, we love you. But the best way to support us right now is to grab yourself a big old cup of Joe. When I say Joe, I mean this Rogue Energy stuff. I need you waking up first thing in the morning with a big old shit to get a big old shit going. Oh, wow. You grab your Rogue Energy cup. Okay, you dip that you just scoop that bad boy right on there. You give that bad boy a shaky dakey, you know what I'm saying? And then you're out the dang door, okay? You need this beverage in your life. I cannot express that enough. You can head on over to rogueenergy.com and use code GKRAKEN for 10% off any purchase of shaker or formula tub of your choosing. That's GKRAKEN for 10% off any shaker or formula tub that you would like. Now, back to the episode.
All right, we are back. So, my next question that I have for you guys here, okay? So, back in the year of our Lord 2000, we had another Dungeons and Dragons movie that came out. The first Dungeons and Dragons movie that was just titled literally Dungeons and Dragons. It was starring Justin Whalen, Jeremy Irons, and Marlon Wayans was in that movie too, dude. This movie was bad. It was a bad movie. It was a very, very, very fucking not good, right? The contrast between that movie to this is null and void in all comparison, honestly. Especially like knowing, Garrick has not even seen the original one because now he realized he doesn't even remember that movie existed.
No, I didn't know that movie existed. It doesn't sound like I was missing out on much.
No, you were
not.
Was
this a theatrical release?
It was.
Oh my lord.
Yeah, the trailer for this is real bad, dude. So I was 10 years old when this movie came out. I remember watching it, and even then I was kind of like, ugh, don't want that to happen again. You know what I'm saying? So that was the last attempt at a Dungeons and Dragons movie to be made, and pretty much acted as like a chance for Marlon Wayans to be the comedy god that he is in movies. Because this was back when Scary Movie was about to happen. So you can kind of see like where that goes in contrast. But in comparison to other high fantasy movies, though, things like Lord of the Rings, in a world where we live in, like with Game of Thrones presently being one of the biggest franchises ever in entertainment. Garrick, I want to ask you, does this movie hold up in the greater world of high fantasy? Is this a movie that you will remember when we speak about high fantasy films?
I think so. This definitely fills a space in the high fantasy genre that nobody's really been willing to like take the chance and do anything with. I can't remember the last time I saw anything that was like a genuine high fantasy that was also. I would say the closest thing that we got would be Onward, the the Pixar film, which was incredible, and I love that film. But that was also, that was a CGI. That was like a Pixar animated, very different, tonally set film. But it inspired heavily by Dungeons and Dragons. But aside from that, like I feel like this has a great it's a great time for this to exist. Because we don't really we have a lot of like, we've got House of the Dragon, that is still ongoing. We don't have a lot of super serious darker high fantasy things going on right now, and that genre has kind of seen I'll be quite frank, has kind of seen a lack, like a dip in quality, excluding Game of Thrones across the whole. Like you can if you can pluck out Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings, and you're gonna be like, and what high fantasy movies over the last 2 decades can you actually remember and say they were incredibly good and fun to watch?
Right.
Right.
You can't,
because
there's none. Like, because sci-fi's been the king of the crop for a long time, and as far as that, and then Marvel movies it's like the real, superhero films, the real crown. But you could even lump that in with the sci-fi. But like high fantasy, like it's missing something. But this film's got a lot of heart, and I think that's what I think are going to bring people to the theater to see. Is this movie really does feel like a summer blockbuster that just got released a couple months early. I think I would love to see them continue with this. And the nice thing about Dungeons and Dragons is it is okay and acceptable, and could even be quite charming to see a rolling, cast of like characters that come in and out each film, right? Like, will some of our characters remain core to the party? Sure. But every D&D campaign, like, not everybody comes back, and like new players come in. And I think that would be beautifully done, and like not out of place to see in a film like this, to propel the franchise into more films in the future. I would love to see this continue, and I think it's got plenty of space to exist right now.
Absolutely. DJ, do you think that this movie holds up against the Lord of the Rings, the Narnias, the Game of Thrones stories that we get?
Well, one, I haven't seen Lord of the Rings still. That's one of the things I haven't watched it yet.
Can't believe this guy.
But
Jesus Lord.
But
how are you even
from
alive?
the other movies that you mentioned, that I have watched, yes, it does. It does. And I think it holds up, and I think it can carve out a space for its own. Like what Garrick said, like it could be a rolling thing, like new cast and maybe some returning characters that like make their like little cameo, right? Like in the story, because that's what some of these D&D campaigns, when you're rolling with a few of the same group of people, you make references to like some of the older campaigns, in which this movie does mention a previous campaign that kind of sets this whole thing off.
Yep. It sure does.
So I think there's a lot of possibility. There's a lot of potential for this. It could carve out its own like little space. Like I said, like we can go darker. You know what I mean? We can go, more edgy, like a darker kind of piece, but still keep it a little bit lighthearted. Or we can go even further into this type of lane where it's like it's humorous, doesn't take itself too seriously. It's kind of like, oh, just a couple friends doing a little D&D sesh, right?
Yep.
I think this has a place, and it deservedly has a place in the space of film, and I want to see more.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think that this movie has some longevity behind it, especially because of just the fact that we don't have a lot of high fantasy comedy. Like I think that Dungeons and Dragons has a place to be that token for us, to kind of be that sort of like offset of like we have so many epics that we're like sitting on right now, right? Between like Dune
Yeah.
and like some like real just really great huge stories that we're like really excited for. It's kind of refreshing to get a high fantasy comedy that like can exist in that space for us to just like go in and have a popcorn flick, you know, and not have to like worry about having the high stakes of a Marvel, you know, cinematic experience or having another season of Game of Thrones. It's nice to go into this and just being like, yeah, there's this one movie franchise I can go see every time it comes out that I know is just going to be goofy and over the top and meta as fuck, and I can go in and just have a really good time with friends. Like I am like so excited that this movie could continue on. I'm also very bummed out that you guys don't live here, because like I want to go see one of these movies with you guys so bad. We would have so much fucking fun seeing another Dungeons and Dragons movie. Like this franchise has so much potential to just be a banger after banger after banger of just like good nerdy fucking humor that only we're going to understand. From like that perspective, but also it just has good humor generally speaking that is just so like well like written and like well like created to like live in that space, so that people that aren't Dungeons and Dragons players can still kind of understand and have a good time with too. And I'm excited to see what more they could do with this, because Garrick's right. They could just do completely new characters. They could continue with another campaign with the same characters. They could have half the same characters next time. They could find a different party, you know, things like that. That can make it like so much fun and continue to be enjoyable. And I'm excited to see where that potentially goes there. So boys, let's tie things off here. DJ, what are you rating this movie, and should people go see it right away?
I am going to give this movie a 9.
9 out of 10.
Go see it right now, as soon as you can. It's a fun movie. Bring your friends, even bring family. There's no actual blood or anything in this movie. It's is it PG-13? Right?
Yeah,
it's
believe
PG-13.
So.
Yeah, so if you want to like introduce your little nephew, little niece to D&D, or if they're already kind of thinking about it, this is a perfect movie to go take them to see. There is some like parts where like there's some jump scares. There like some loud noises, but other than that, it's not scary. It's not the action is good. It's fun. Go see it with somebody. This is like, I'll go see it. I only saw it by myself, but I had plans on seeing it with my friend Z, which we both go to see movies all the time.
Yeah.
And they couldn't come because they had food poisoning. But I'm gonna go see it again with them because I think this movie deserves to be watched with someone else around you that you know, so you can talk about it after the movie, or like, you know, share those moments of seeing this thing on screen.
Damn,
it's a fun
2
movie.
on the D20. That sucks.
Yeah, Nat 1 did. Nat 1 on the fucking
goddamn for real.
Z had like catfish frozen in the freezer, and he thawed it, smelled it. It was like, it smells okay, and so fried it, ate it, and then next morning.
Okay is never acceptable for fish.
For fish, yeah. You can't take that risk, man. That's too much. As an Islander, I don't even do that. Anyways,
it smelled fine, they said, but you know,
risky. I get it.
Risky, very risky. Nat 1 on that one.
So yeah, 9 out of 10. I like that. Good rating, my friend. Garrick, let's move to you, my friend. Should people watch this right away, and what is your rating?
Look, it is spring break right now. Like this week, next week, like for like next 2 weeks for most people, like whether like you got kids, like whether you are a student yourself, whether you're like me and you're working in that particular field, you got the time off. Everybody should take the time to go see this. Like this is like I said, this really does feel like that like great early summer blockbuster, and it just got released in March. Like right, it really is like that summer like high quality like blockbuster film that you are expecting to see with your family. This is a great time. Everybody should go see it. You're gonna have a lot of laughs. You're gonna love the characters. You're gonna enjoy the humor. It's got something for everybody. Honestly, like I'm thrilled to go see this again with my wife because she unfortunately wasn't able to go with me when I went yesterday. But I intend on going to see it again because this is a great film to enjoy with somebody else, to just be able to discuss all the lovely humor and fan service available. This film is absolutely a 9 out of 10.
Hell fucking yeah, dude. Boys, unanimous, because I'm giving this movie a 9 out of 10 as well, boys. That's it. That's right. Yeah, absolutely. You need to go see this movie right away. This movie is entirely too much fun for you to be missing. It is not necessarily a family film. Like, it wasn't made to be that, but it can be. Like you can see this movie with your family. You can watch this with your kids. You can watch this with your friends, your family, your partners, whomever, and they're gonna have some kind of good time with this movie. I think enough so that like it makes fun of itself enough that even people that are like do not really like high fantasy can still watch us and be like, yeah, like I would make fun of it in this way too. And it's this movie is just so clever. Like you can't get enough of like watching this and like not have like I would never. You have to have the driest fucking sense of humor on the planet to walk away from this and just think, "Whoa, that was a boring piece of shit." Like fuck you. Do you like this?
Yeah, to not have even chuckled once at some of the ridiculous fucking jokes they threw at you over 2 hours.
Yeah, dude.
I saw someone complaining on Twitter. Coop was like engaging with them. Someone was reacting to the 94 or 91 Rotten Tomatoes and 94 audience score, and they're like, I didn't get any semblance of this through the trailers. Like, there's no good. The trailers and marketing don't do it justice. I'm like, it's not supposed to be a fucking beautiful like fucking art piece of a film. It's a fun film.
Yeah,
it did what it wanted. The film accomplished exactly what it set out to do, which was to allow its audience to have a good fucking time.
Yes, exactly. And like Jag says in chat, I usually go to the movies by myself, but this is an absolute see with friends movie. It was so damn fun. And 100%, like I said earlier, me and Jag were having the time of our fucking lives with this movie. We were cracking the fuck up for 2 hours. Yeah. And like this movie is exactly what it wants to be, and it does it so well. You like literally have fun going and seeing this. Like go pick your friends that you just want to hang out with for an afternoon and go and just see this fucking movie and then have lunch together after, because like this movie is going to be a time for you and your friends to just be like, oh my god, that scene was fucking gold, dude, and like laugh and giggle about it again later. I want to see this movie another 3 fucking times, honestly. Like this movie is that kind of like level of good fun humor that does not get old. Like it just doesn't. I mean, like like I keep thinking about the part with Hugh Grant with good old Forge, where he's like, and it just be disappointing to see you die, which is why I'm gonna leave the room. So fucking good, dude. So good, man. Yes, a 9 out of 10 consecutively from all of us here at Good Kraken. This movie was so good. You absolutely need to watch this stuff. But in the meantime, we're gonna talk our schedule for next week. So we have, yeah, I'm bad at math. Fucking killed me, dude. He was laughing so hard. So our schedule next week is a little bit of a weird one. So we had to do some shuffling around to accommodate for the Super Mario Brothers movie coming out on a Wednesday. Nintendo doing what Nintendo is notorious for doing and just doing weird shit for absolutely no fucking reason. But Tuesday, we have another Good Kraken podcast. We're going to be talking, is E3 finally dead and buried? right? Because we just got the announcement this week that E3 is canceled. It's done. They're not doing it this year. They tried, and there's a lot of people. It's a bummer, dude. I've been seeing some of the people that were like in charge of like coordinating E3 this year and trying to make it happen.
They're hurting over it. They feel
dude.
so
like,
bad.
It's rough, man. So we're gonna be talking about that on Tuesday. Please come in, join us. It's gonna be a fun one. Wednesday, we're not gonna do any content because we are all going and seeing the Super Mario Brothers movie. We're on Thursday for another Good Kraken podcast. We are officially doing the Super Mario Brothers movie review. So come in, hang out with us for that. For next Thursday, we're doing that review. It's going to be fun. But because we're doing that on Thursday, we're on Friday, we are doing the Shipwreck Show. So come in. That is, again, I know it's a weird day, guys. I'm sorry. It is a fucking weird one. Come in 7 p.m. Pacific time. If you want to be a part of the show and you're on our Discord, if you are also a Twitch subscriber, you can write in to Shipwreck Submissions on our Discord channel where you can write in questions. We can pick the best question that we think will make the best content, and we will answer your questions live on the show. Please come in, do that. That'll be a fun one. And then Saturday, again, it's weird, guys. We are doing Splash Damage at 12 p.m. Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern time, where we are going to be diving back into Valheim. Because Devin has gone with Garrick to create a new world this time because our last world got corrupted.
Yeah, corrupted cloud save. So we had to start over on a local save fire. And we've been grinding away. We need people to come join us. We're building a village.
Valheim can have up to what, 10 players?
10 people on a server. Yep. And it's all PvE. It's a cooperative experience.
So if you guys want to hang out with us next Saturday at 12 p.m. Pacific time, you guys can join us for Splash Damage as we play Valheim. That's going to be
It's on Game Pass.
And it's on Game Pass. It's free. You can play it on there. Just get it on Game Pass if you have it. It's going to be a very, very fun one. In the meantime, guys, please let us know how you felt about Dungeons & Dragons Honor Amongst Thieves. Let us know if you want to see it. Let us know if you have zero interest at all. You're wrong. You should. And then please let us know when you do go see it, your thoughts of that movie as well. Guys, this has been the Good Kraken Podcast, your choice for all the nerdy video game and pop media news, reviews, and discussions that you wanted to hear live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. and Saturdays at 12 p.m. right here at twitch.tv/Good Kraken Show. Good Kraken Show. If you enjoy the show, you can head on over to our Discord channel where you can submit questions and topics. You can get exclusive co-post show content. I want to make fun of Garrick when I flopped on that one. And have early access to episodes before they go live on podcasts and video services across the digital sea.
Yarg.
Yarg. You can also support us by going to our YouTube channel by clicking that beautiful bell and big red button, or by subscribing to our podcast channel by searching Good Kraken with an exclamation mark and leaving a review there. We gotta get rolling on out of here, everybody. But until next time, my friends. Okay.
I don't engage in local colloquialism.
That's an owlbear.
The #1 podcast out of Atlantis.